By 1971, 95% of Australia's saltwater crocodile population was gone. Hunted for handbags. Then we protected them. They came back.
A Queensland man has been bitten by a crocodile in the state's north.
A man in his 40s has been pulled underwater by a crocodile in far north Queensland.
The man is recovering in hospital after he and his dog were attacked by a crocodile in far north Queensland.
And now Queensland has no idea what to do about it. We almost lost them completely, then brought them back. And now we're trying to figure out what to do with that. So I went looking for answers, and what I found completely changed how I see this whole thing. Because this isn't just a dangerous animal attacks person story. It's way more interesting than that. And honestly, it's kind of on us. Before anything else, I need to make sure we're on the same page about what a saltwater crocodile actually is, because I feel like most people picture something medium-sized, kind of slow, sitting on a rock somewhere. That is not what this is. A fully grown male saltwater crocodile can hit 5 meters long and weigh over 500 kilograms. They have the strongest bite force ever recorded in any living animal. Stronger than a great white shark, stronger than a lion. And the thing that makes them actually scary isn't even the size. It's that you will never see one coming. They sit perfectly still underwater, barely visible for hours.
Okay, now, slowly go to the back, the rest of the body. So this is a huge crocodile, right in an area where people swim sometimes. Crystal clear water right near the bridge. We've been here for days and we haven't seen him, but he's about 5 meters long. Absolutely astonishing in this crystal clear water. Wow.
And then they move. And by the time your brain registers what just happened, it's already over. Which makes what happened next absolutely wild. Back in the day, Australia was a major exporter of crocodile leather. Shoes, bags, belts, you name it. Hunting them wasn't unusual at all, because the fashion industry was willing to pay serious money for their skins. So hunters went in and just started shooting. No limits, no seasons, no regulations whatsoever. Just completely uncontrolled killing for almost 30 years straight. I'm not joking. The fashion industry was paying serious money for exotic leather at the time, and crocodile skin was considered the best of all of it. And by 1971, just 25 years in, the saltwater crocodile population in northern Australia had been reduced by 95%. 95%. An animal that survived 5 mass extinctions, almost gone in 25 years, because of the fashion industry. By the late 60s, professional hunters were saying it wasn't even worth going out anymore. There were so few crocodiles left that you couldn't make money finding them. Rivers that had been full of these things for millions of years were basically empty, silent. And here's the part that gets me. Indigenous Australians had been living alongside saltwater crocodiles for tens of thousands of years. They knew these animals. They hunted them sustainably. They understood their behavior. They had entire ways of life built around coexistence with them. And then in 25 years of unregulated commercial hunting, basically all of that got erased. The rivers went quiet, and nobody who caused it seemed particularly bothered. Yes, but everything was about to change, and this time it was good news for the crocodiles. And the protection didn't just happen on its own. Scientists started sounding the alarm. Population surveys were coming back basically empty. Rivers that should have been full of these animals had almost nothing in them. Conservationists pushed hard, governments eventually listened, and in the early 70s, the hunting was banned. Which is actually not the obvious outcome when you've got an entire industry built around killing something. The fashion money was real, the hunters weren't happy, but the science was hard to argue with. There were almost none left, and that was enough to finally make people act. Queensland protected the saltwater crocodile in 1974, and at that point, nobody was really sure it wasn't already too late. But the crocodiles came back. Slowly at first. These animals take years to reach sexual maturity, so rebuilding a population from near zero is not a fast process. But year by year, the numbers started climbing. Scientists doing surveys on Queensland rivers started counting more animals, then more again. Today, there are somewhere between 20 and 30,000 saltwater crocodiles in Queensland. Australia-wide, estimates go as high as 150,000. From 95% gone to one of the greatest wildlife recovery stories in the world in 50 years. That's actually incredible when you think about it. Protection worked. The decision to save them was the right one. But here's where the story takes a turn. While the crocodiles were quietly recovering in the rivers of far north Queensland, tourism in the north was booming. Cairns was growing into a real city. I mean, most of you probably don't even know this, but back in the 70s and 80s, you could actually swim in parts of Australia without worrying about being torn apart by a crocodile. Yeah. But as you know, that didn't last forever. By the 1980s, everything was about to change. New housing developments were pushing closer and closer to the coast and along river systems. More people were kayaking, fishing, camping, swimming in places that have always been crocodile habitat. So now you've got two things happening at exactly the same time. Crocodile population going up, human population expanding toward the water. And these two lines were always going to cross eventually. And they crossed. In 2024 alone, the Queensland government got over 1,300 crocodile sighting reports. They had to remove 93 individual animals considered dangerous. Fatal attacks in 2024 and again in early 2025. And yeah, obviously it happened again this year, unfortunately. The numbers are going up, and the reason is not complicated. There are more crocodiles and more people sharing the same rivers than at any point in living memory.
Well, the Queensland family has had the fright of their lives after discovering a saltwater crocodile at their rural property.
All right, so this wasn't small either.
Nope.
This was well in excess of 2 metres, up near 3 metres in length. So it found itself a very long way from homesteads. Formidable territory for a far north Queensland croc.
Peter Lyons found a 2 to 3 meter crocodile sitting in his dam while looking for his dogs. Nobody got hurt, but it took a professional team 2 days to remove it. As you can see, not every crocodile encounter in Australia ends badly, but unfortunately, sometimes it does.
The wife of a man killed by a crocodile has today revealed one of his last acts was to save her life.
It was August 3rd, 2024, a Saturday afternoon, 2:10 p.m. A family from Newcastle, New South Wales, had driven all the way up to far north Queensland for a holiday. A 4-wheel drive camping trip. The kind of trip David Hogbin lived for. He was 40 years old, a GP, a doctor who specialized in kids, and more than anything, he was a family man. He had 3 boys, 7, 5, and 2 years old. His wife, Jane, was with him. So were her parents. They stopped at a bend in the Annan River, about 7 kilometers south of Cooktown, a place called Crocodile Bend. David had actually been to this exact spot before, less than a year earlier. He knew the area. He knew the risks. He was not a careless man. He was walking along an established path on top of the riverbank, 5 meters above the water, a normal walk. Nothing unusual, and then the path gave way underneath him. The ground just collapsed, and David fell into the river below. Jane heard the splash. She wasn't walking with him at that moment. She was nearby, but the second she heard it, she ran. She got to the edge, looked down, and saw her husband in the water, being pulled by a crocodile. She didn't hesitate. She slid down that steep, slippery bank and grabbed his arm. She was holding him, pulling as hard as she could, but the bank was wet and steep, and as she pulled, she started sliding in herself. David felt it. He felt her going, and in that moment he made a decision. He let go of her hand. Not because he gave up, because he didn't want to take her with him. His friend Alex Ward, who later set up a GoFundMe for the family, described it as his final decisive act, one that almost certainly saved Jane's life. In a world-shattering instant, David was taken by the crocodile, and he never came back up. Search teams spent all of Saturday and Sunday looking, helicopters, rangers, nothing. Then on Monday, wildlife officers located a 4.9-meter male saltwater crocodile in a small creek about 4 kilometers from where David had disappeared. They euthanized it, and when they examined the animal, they found human remains inside. By Tuesday morning, Queensland police confirmed what everyone already feared. Jane later spoke publicly. She wanted people to understand something important. Her husband didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't fishing. He wasn't near the edge being reckless. He was just walking on a path. "We were just enjoying a standard day of our holiday," she said. Everything just changed within 30 seconds. He wasn't doing anything wrong. In fact, he was doing everything right, and this still happened. And then she said something that is very hard to forget. He saved me. His last act was to not pull me in with him. I'm glad I'm still here because it could have been a millionfold worse for everyone involved. 3 boys, 7, 5, and 2. None of them saw it happen. And here's the thing. David's story is not as rare as you might think. Australia is home to the largest population of saltwater crocodiles on the planet. Since 1969, there have been 44 fatal crocodile attacks in Australia. Queensland and the Northern Territory lead the count with 19 deaths each, and the number of attacks has been rising. Not because crocodiles are getting more aggressive, but because their population has rebounded strongly since hunting was banned in the early 1970s. And at the same time, more people are moving into, camping in, and exploring the tropical north. 2 worlds increasingly colliding. 2024 alone recorded 3 fatal attacks, more than any single year before it. And the Queensland government knows this is a growing problem. They have invested nearly $5 million into crocodile management. They run a program called Be Croc-Wise, one of the most recognized safety campaigns in the state.
Wherever you are in the territory, you have to remember that crocodiles can be anywhere. Be croc-wise.
You kids, get out of the water. You should know better.
Never place yourself in danger when you're near or in water.
Pretty efficient today, eh?
Yeah, it's good, mate.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Dad, get out of the water! Remember, be croc-wise. If there's no sign to say it's safe, don't go in the water.
Don't risk your life. Be croc-wise. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
The rules are simple but serious. Stay at least 5 meters from the water's edge. Never swim where crocodiles live, even if there's no warning sign. Never use the same spot on a riverbank twice, because a crocodile will learn your routine. Never feed them. Never leave fish scraps near the water. Camp at least 50 meters back from the edge, and be extra careful at night, at dusk, and at dawn, because that's when they hunt. If you see one, report it immediately through the Q Wildlife app. Rangers investigate every single sighting. They have also created crocodile exclusion zones around populated areas like cairns. In these zones, any crocodile over 2 meters is caught and removed, because the state understands that this is not a problem that goes away. It is a permanent reality of life in tropical Australia. And yet, as officials always remind people, the most dangerous thing you can do in croc country next is get comfortable. Because a crocodile you cannot see is far more dangerous than one you can.